I have evicted my onions outside, and I've just got another, I can get another 6 plants in, so I'm just going to put each one of my 8 varieties in now. And this one is pork chop. It's a lovely tomato, this. It produces really big tomatoes, and I've always found that with the really big toms that they haven't really got that much about them, regarding taste, but these pork chop, they're really nice tomatoes, they really are. And they're a kind of a yellowy orange tomato, and for a big tomato they're packed with taste, so they're just great for sandwiches. To have on a sandwich, you can really taste them, they're so nice. That's 2 pork chop. And the next one is what everyone knows, obviously. They're the sun golds, so everyone's heard of sun gold. I always do grow some sun golds, and I'll say now that sun golds are much sweeter if they're grown outside than they are inside. I found this because I grow sun gold at home, outside against the fence. They always do fairly well, to be honest with you, unless we get a crossing of blight. I've had blight on my sun golds outside twice since I've been growing them at home over the many years, but generally they're fine. I can take sun gold here from the polytunnel home and pick one from home, and you can just tell, eating one from the other, which is the nicest one, and it's always the one grown outside. And this is a variety I grew last year for the first time. It's a Heinz 1350, and it was just a packet of seed that was given to me, and they were really big tomato, really big chunky tomato, and the packet said something like the classic taste of Heinz tomato soup or something like that on the packet. Whether that's true or not, you've got to take all these things with a pinch of salt. But what I found it was really good for was mixing in with the Romas and the San Mazzanos to make sauces. It really added something to that sauce. So when I make my sauces for spag bowls, for pizza toppings, for anything, it's always Roma, San Mazzano, Heinz 1350 and honeycomb. A scattering of all those mashed up together. Oh, the taste is amazing. Put some basil into it. I've got bags and bags of it in my freezer at home, which we're going to have to get on and eat, because before long they'll be ready again, won't they? So I just need to get this label in where the sun golds were, which is that one. And that's it, guys. That's the all 8 varieties in now. I just made another batch of compost extract this morning, so it's been bubbling for a couple of hours. I'm going to get this on. I've already watered the other tomatoes with it. This is why I love getting my tomatoes in, guys, because that's the one out of the tray, and there's not a noticeable difference really when they were put in. But just after 3 days, look at the size of these leaves on these plants now getting out. And this is the wonder of compost extract, because it's been on a couple of days, the compost extract, and my God, these plants have really picked up because they're able to get the roots into the ground. Just a matter now of leaving them, let them get a load of root down and connect up with the soil microbes. Cambridge favourite. Probably going to get some April strawberries. The apple trees are looking so pretty. And it's been 3 years really hard pruning on these trees to get them to where they are now. They were so much bigger than they are now. And I'm bringing them down all the time. So we're now getting, whereas when I came on all the blossom was at the top, maybe 12, 15 foot high. We're now about 7 foot tall, the tallest one there. And we've got blossom coming right down to the bottom of the tree. So I'm encouraging it basically to put out some new branches down below and keep heavily cutting the top back. So we get some lower fruit essentially in it, and therefore a healthier tree. You can just maybe see a piece of wood standing up behind this tree, and that's actually propping the tree upright, because when I came on, that particular tree was leaning back 35 degrees and every year I've pushed it up a bit straighter and propped it with the piece of wood to the point where I think it would almost stand up straight now. I have to say I did a thing yesterday, guys, a thing where I hid some little cauliflower plants in and amongst this self-sown seeded mustard. So I had one about there. They were only little plants, 3 inches tall, so I had one in there nestled in amongst the leaves. 6 or 7 in total there was. And the pigeons must have been watching, because when I came this morning, every single plant, even though you had to part the mustard to find them, had been almost pecked down to nothing. So I pulled them all out, put them back in pots. Let's see if they'll recover, and they'll have to go under nets when this mustard comes out. And in the 10-foot beds here, 10x4s, we have this year's elephant garlic coming up. I put them onions in 2 days ago. I've also interplanted some beetroot with those. I'm going to get a couple of more little bits and pieces in, probably a row of lettuce where it's not completely full of beetroot, so maybe some lettuce along here and some other bits and bobs in there as well. Right guys, the Swift first earlies, 17th of March, they went in and they're up and they're off to the races. There they are, nestling amongst the beans. You see the little guys there, just coming up. Something also interesting as well. If you please note these beans from one end of the bed to the other. So from this line here back that way, this was all broad bean save seed from last year. From here out, packet seed from this year. What a difference in beans. I know I said I wasn't going to let these beans flower. I've decided I'm going to let them flower, just because the bumblebees and the bees are absolutely loving them, and it's a lovely source of nectar for them this time of year. So all I'm going to do, guys, is pinch the top side of these fellas here like this. We can eat those. They just taste like a bean. There's a self-seeded mustard growing there as well. I'll just leave that fella in for now as well. But they're full of flowers. The smell, amazing. Amazing smell. Beautiful. Really, really fragrant. I've got about 200 potato seed gone in this year on the allotment alone. And this is the Picasso bed. These are the last ones in, I think. They're not actually coming up yet. Yeah, here we have the jazzy potato bed. If you haven't grown jazzy, guys, give them a chance. Really nice potato. So there they are, little jazzies. They're coming up. And then I've just showed you the Swift behind them. Bed 4 here are the Ulster Prince. They are literally just breaking surface, just a little tiny tips coming through. Bed 5, the Estima, again only just breaking through, but they were all planted much later than the Swift were. Bed 6 here, we've got the Maris Pipers. These are, you can actually see these. I'll just point one out if I can find it on the camera. It's really bright, sun's just come out. Can't really see the viewfinder very well. But yep, you can see there. There's the Maris Pipers just coming through. Actually guys, there's 3. There's 3 little ones coming up there as well. Bed 7 is this beautiful stand of rye now, which is really going for it. I am going to leave some of these clumps in, some maybe 6 or 7, but I'm going to break them up. I'm just going to cut through them. I've already cleared a few at the front. This will get to a good 7 foot tall this year again, because it's been in since last year. I'm literally, guys, I'm just saving this for some of the rye grain, which will be grown again next year, or maybe even the back end of this year. I don't know what the hell I did wrong here with these jazzy potatoes last year, But have you ever seen anything like it? How the hell did I miss all them potatoes when I dug them up? Unbelievable. I've never done that before. Unless some animal has secretly been and planted them. But whatever the case, they're staying there. We're just going to let them grow and see what we get off them. So I've actually put some potatoes in this little bed at the back of the allotment this year. This bed has never had potatoes grown on it in 3 years. We'll see how they do. So you don't know if you can see the label there. We've got 3 Lenormands here at the front. Then we've got 5 Estimas. And then we've got 7 Maris Pipers at the end of the bed. Let's take you down a little bit to this bed, where we've got another 12 Maris Pipers. I do like me Maris Pipers. Just going to take a few of them carrots home with me when I go this afternoon, because they're for tea tonight. Back there to the onion and garlic, elephant garlic bed. And then in this bed, this end bed, I have left this self-sown mustard in. And I've put the Charlotte potatoes in here. The vast majority of this bed is Charlotte. What we got? 3, 6, 9, 12. I think we have 15 Charlotte in this bed. And then right at the end, there was 3 volunteers there, which I've replanted in the end of that bed. And I think they are Charlotte. I dug them up from the bed that had Charlotte in last year while they were coming up. So I've just moved them to there. And we'll see what we get off them. My theory leaving this mustard in for the minute is that it will discourage some of the wireworm digging the way in through from the field. Because this side of the ground is the worst for wireworm. Just tunnelling in from the field beyond. And again, this was the bed where I just tried to sneak my collies in, but the pigeons found them anyway. By the way, these little traps, these light traps, are working absolutely brilliant. I have caught so many click beetles now in these traps. Probably 20 or 30 click beetles, and it's not even prime hatching time yet for click beetles. That comes in May time. And a little update on these solar powered, light powered wireworm traps. There's actually a click beetle in there right now. I can see it. So I got these much brighter, more of a spotlight really. I'm going to have to come at night and just see how bright these are, because guys, they look really bright. They do. Yeah, they're absolutely work. Actually, there's 2 click beetles in there, guys. So they were caught last night because I emptied the trap yesterday. They will mount on a piece of wood from that bracket. So I'm just going to get some pieces of wood just to stake into the ground to screw them on. But to be honest, they've just been propped up on the top of these cages facing south, so the sun gets on them in the daytime, and these lights will automatically come on in darkness and run for, I believe, 12 hours on the low setting. Well, they're not going to be on for 12 hours because at the minute they're probably coming on 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and they'll be turning off at 7 o'clock in the morning, so we're not exhausting the energy in them. I've got 2 of these. I bought 2 of them. They worked out about £5 or £6 each, but they are bright. But I am going to have to come back, as I say, and just see just how dazzlingly bright they are. But they're working. That's the main thing. And the other one of those is just there behind it. And again, I checked that one this morning, and there are click beetles in it. If nothing else, we can remove some of the problems for the next year and the year after by taking these beetles out of the equation so they're not laying eggs in the soil. So because I've got these 2 solar lights, the little solars, by the way, which I got, they're not as bright, but they are still catching the beetles. These seem to be catching more though, I must say that, because they're brighter. So I've now got 5 wireworm traps on the allotment. I've spread them out across this side, and we're going to try and catch as many of these damn beetles as we can this year, these click beetles. And these boards and bags at the back here are just, you know, they're just to attract some slugs underneath them. Not really finding many at the moment, which, you know, I'm really pleased about, but what is under here are a lot of violet ground beetles, so many worms, centipedes. No slugs today, but an army of red ants seems to have moved into that one. And another violet ground beetle there. There seems to be a lot more ants about this year, guys. But anyway, as you know, this is my sweet corn area. I have just cleared that. It did have a full stand of rye in. I'll give you an update, guys, on the sweet corn very, very shortly. I think in 2 or 3 days we'll be able to see if this Australius Phragmites inoculation onto those little corn kernels has made any difference. I can possibly see a little bit of difference now. It's not massive, but the Phragmites corn does look better developed, with the leaves are just starting to open now as the shoots are coming through. So yeah, it could be beneficial, but we'll find out in, let's say, 3 or 4 days. I'll show you them, and we'll see if this experiment's going to pay off. Of course, it may all come out in the wash right at the end as the plants come up. They may be happier and healthier. We'll see. We will see. Are your spuds up yet, guys? I think my gamble again this year to get all the potatoes in early, way early, really, and have them up before May has paid off this year again, because it doesn't look like we're going to get any frost. There's nothing in the forecast for the next 2 weeks. The temperatures are well above freezing, so I think that's going to be all right. I also think the tomatoes are going to be fine as well. We've got no horrible cold temperatures coming in. My ducks just arrived for the evening feed, and I'll wrap it up with that one, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.